So of course, with the release of Spice Bomb dating back to many years ago, there's been so many flankers released throughout the years. And of course, we had Infrared, which I did a video on, but now we have Spice Bomb Infrared Eau de Parfum, right? So this is a stronger concentration, or so it seems, but the DNA has been changed as well. So it does smell quite different from the original Infrared. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new Viktor Rolf fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Viktor Rolf Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum, it's kind of a flanker at this point. I do want to start the video off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and that includes top 10 fragrances, videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, and a whole lot more, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload these daily videos to YouTube. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you took anything of value from today's episode. It would mean so much to me. It would make me so happy. So, Spice Bomb is one of my favorite fragrances. It's composed by Olivier Polge, and it goes back to many years ago, and just that tobacco, pink pepper, spicy type of a vibe. Let me tell you something. Spice Bomb Infrared Eau de Parfum is the spiciest fragrance that the brand has released. Some of the previous iterations have smelled quite bright and quite sweet and a lot of tonka bean, and you do have a bit of a spiciness in there. This has the pink pepper, cinnamon, and chili pepper. This is by far the spiciest interpretation, and I like how the spice goes in a few different directions when it comes to this fragrance. This was a three-way collaboration among perfumers Nicolas Beaulieu, we have Carlos Benaim, who's an amazing perfumer, and Jean-Christophe Hérault, who also worked on Creed's Aventus, believe it or not. So I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new 2023 release. Let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you get this dark, spicy vibe. As a matter of fact, in the opening, it kind of reminded me of Bulgari Man in Black. Now, if you've ever tried Bulgari Man in Black, a lot of people were comparing it to the original Spice Bomb, but it went in a bit of a darker direction. So this one is a darker version of the original Spice Bomb, darker and spicier. It has a bit of a leathery dry down as well. So it's not just spicier and darker in the opening, but it also has that dark edge as it starts to dry down as well. So like I said, it opens up very spicy, and I got more cinnamon than anything else. So it does open up with a heaping dose of cinnamon, and you can smell it right away. It smells like those red hot candies, and it really smells like if you've ever tried the beverage Fireball. It smells like Fireball. So it opens up very spicy with the cinnamon and the chili pepper and the pink pepper. Pink pepper also has a reputation for smelling rosy and not really smelling as spicy as like a black pepper or something like that. But that triad, that combination of the chili pepper, the pink pepper, and the cinnamon, it certainly makes this the spiciest Spice Bomb fragrance that the brand has put out. Of course, you give it a chance to dry down, and it does have that sweetness underneath it all. I know in the note breakdown it just says resins. It could be labdanum, it could be benzoin. I'm also getting a bit of vanilla from this as well, but it's not overly sweet. So I'm getting ethyl vanillin, just a nice sweet undercurrent in this fragrance, and that kind of creates this almost ambery dry down, because that's what amber is. It's a combination of resins and vanilla, and it's an accord. So this one is spicy in the opening, ambery in the dry down. I love this one. This is totally my style. Is it the first fragrance that I would recommend by Viktor Rolf? Not necessarily. It's not their most complex. Their most complex was Antidote, which is now discontinued. It has been discontinued for many, many years, unfortunately. I think that was a wonderful fragrance by Viktor and Rolf, but I would much sooner recommend the original Spicebomb, or I would probably recommend maybe some of the other iterations that came in the green bottle. Some of them have been compared to like Invictus Aqua by Paco Rabanne. So this one is much more on the darker, spicier, edgier, more niche quality side of things, if you get what I mean. But that combination of perfumers that worked on it and the unconventional ingredients being used in the No Breakdown, this stuff is awesome. And it does smell a whole lot, I have to be honest. It does smell a lot, especially in the dry down, like Bulgari Man in Black. So if you're familiar with that fragrance and you understood just how darker that was compared to the original Spicebomb, I think you'll have a pretty good idea of what to expect from this one. But ambery, spiciest version of them all, definitely takes things in a darker direction, less sweet, more of an emphasis on the resins. I bought my bottle from Macy's. Give it a try. Check it out if you have a chance. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I do find it to be unique. Of course, it does have elements that are similar to the original Spicebomb and even infrared, if I'm being honest with you, but this is the Eau de Parfum, the newest version, and I do think that the bottle looks really nice, very sleek, very sexy. And of course, some people go as far as saying the whole grenade look is kind of kitschy, but nevertheless, I do think that the presentation is nice. We haven't gotten to that yet, but overall smell, I do think it's not going to cater to everybody's tastes because it is rather on the spicier side of things. So try it for yourself first and see how it works with you. Longevity was a solid 8 hours on my skin. Projection was wonderful for the first hour of application. It radiated within an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, a skin scent right around hour 8. In terms of the versatility, it's masculine leaning, great for casual or formal scenarios. I think this one would probably appeal to somebody who's a little bit younger because of the sweetness. And I think this one is better for the colder weather, so fall and winter. And in terms of the presentation, I do like the presentation. I just don't like the whole naming thing. You know, flankers used to have what I thought were pretty cool names aside from Sport. I'm glad we did away with that. But now everything's become Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Pure Parfum, and then Elixir, right? So I think that brands should stop following the trends. I know they might have to take a hit because people are used to, or they become accustomed and acclimated to expecting fragrances to follow suit in terms of certain trends, but I think it takes away from the artistic expression of it. I always enjoyed when they would name flankers something really peculiar and far off, and something like infrared I thought was a really cool flanker, but now when they've created a flanker of a flanker, it kind of falls down that, you know, designation rabbit hole with all the concentrations and whatnot. But nevertheless, that was my review of the brand new Viktor and Rolf Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. Do you have any experience with this fragrance? If you do, drop your comments down below. Do you have a favorite Spicebomb flanker? Do you prefer the original? Do you like any of the other flankers? I would love to hear from you guys. Drop your comments down below. And once again, if you enjoyed today's episode, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, give this video a thumbs up. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.